friends, welcome back to my channel, and today in this video we'll study about Mendel's law of dominance. In the last video we learned that Mendel's experimented on pea plant and gave basic laws of inheritance. So this is the first law of Mendel, that is law of dominance. Law of dominance is based upon F1 generation. F1 means filial generation. What do we mean by the word filial? Filial means offspring, daughter or son. Now, because we are studying the inheritance, that is the character that is transferred from one generation to the next generation. So, therefore, for each generation to see the transfer of character, we have to study about the offspring. And for that, what we need is parents. So, for the next generation, here we have two parents, P1 and P2. Now, both the parents are selected on the basis of their phenotype, and it should be a true pure homozygous line. So the genotype of parent 1 is capital T, capital T. That means it is a homozygous because both are T, both the alleles are capital T. So this is a homozygous pure line. Similarly, parent 2, the genotype of parent 2 is small t, small t. So this is also a homozygous pure line. So two parents are selected, P1 and P2, having the genotype capital T and small t, small t. So the phenotype of both the parents are, in case of P1, where the genotype is capital T, the phenotype is tall. Where the genotype is small t, the phenotype is dwarf. Now, when both the parents are crossed, now what is the rule of sexual reproduction? According to the sexual reproduction, the contribution of both the parents is 50%. Now, as you all know that we are a diploid organism, so definitely parent 1 and parent 2 both are diploid organism, that is having 2n chromosome. But for reproduction, what is needed is the gametes. In case of female, it is ova. In case of male, it is sperm. Now, the gamete consists of only n set of chromosome. Now, when this n combines, the offspring will have again the 2n chromosome. So the parents are also having 2n chromosome, the offsprings are also having 2n chromosome. But the gametes whose fusion is responsible for the formation of an offspring is having only n chromosome, and hence n and n will combine to form 2n. So similarly, when these parents will cross, so the genotype will get separated in their gametes. So these are the gametes of the parents P1 and P2. Capital T, small t, small t. So during reproduction, the gametes consist of, in case of P1, one gamete will have one of the two capital T. Similarly, in case of P2, one gamete will have one of the small t. So these are the four gametes formed from parent P1 and P2. Now, this we know, gametes are formed. Now, the fact known to us is, according to the sexual reproduction, the contribution of both the parents is 50%. So if the contribution of both the parents is 50%, so the expected result would be that half of the progeny should be tall and half of the progeny should be dwarf, because both are contributing 50%. But what the actual result we get? The actual result is, when this first T, capital T, and this first small t will combine, the genotype formed will be capital T, small t. Then again capital T, small t. Similarly, again capital T, small t, and again capital T, small t. On the basis of phenotype, it was observed that all the plants are tall. So our expected result was, because from sexual reproduction both the parents contribute half, so the progeny should be half tall and half dwarf. But here the observed outcome or the result is all are tall. This is the result obtained on the basis of phenotype. So that means only if we can see only one phenotype is expressed, we can see only one phenotype. So that means the phenotype which is expressed is known as a dominant phenotype because the dominant will always in an expressed form. So, for example, if the fighting is happening between you and me, if you are dominant than me, so every time you will win and I lose. Similarly, here also the phenotype which is expressed is a dominant phenotype, and the phenotype which is not expressed is known as a recessive phenotype. Because if we see the genotype, we have the allele for tall plant also, we have the allele for short plant also. Then why only tall phenotype we can observe? Because the tall is dominant over the dwarf. Though the plants are having both the alleles, that for the tall also, for the dwarf also. But when we are looking into its phenotype, it is tall only. That means dwarf is not able to express. So the phenotype which is expressed is known as dominant phenotype, and the phenotype which is not expressed is known as a recessive phenotype. Now the same we can say for the alleles also, because this capital T for the tall plant and this small t is for the dwarf plant. But only capital T is getting expressed, but small t is not getting expressed. So that means with respect to the alleles, if we say, so the allele which is expressed is known as dominant allele. The allele which is not expressed is known as recessive allele. Clear? So that means the phenotype which is expressed is dominant. Similarly, the alleles which is expressed is a dominant allele. So from here, we can understand about dominant and recessiveness. So one allele should be dominant, one allele should be recessive, one phenotype should be dominant, and one phenotype should be recessive. So what is the concept of law of dominance? It helps to establish a dominant recessive relationship between two alleles of a gene. We already learned in the last video that the gene contains always two alleles, and in both the alleles, one will be dominant and one will be recessive. In future, we'll see or we'll learn about multiple alleles also, and apart from this dominant recessive relationship, the other kind of relationship exists between alleles. But for now, what Mendel said there are only two forms of the gene and both the alleles will always be in a dominant recessive relationship. One will be dominant, other will be recessive. This is all about the concept and laws of dominance. Now, I'm giving you another example, not completely, you have to solve this. So here we are taking the example of seed shape. Parent 1 is round, parent 2 is wrinkled. Round is a pure dominant line and wrinkled is a recessive pure line. Now you have to tell me in the comment section with respect to this seed shape that what is the genotype of the parents and what will be the phenotype of the offsprings in the F1 generation. Do let me know in the comment section. If you found the video informative, please do like, share and subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon for the next video notification. Till then, stay safe, stay happy.